Trump is just kind of on a farewell tour. And take a look here. He's endorsing Jake Paul for political office. And you really have to think to yourself, we do deserve everything we get as a country. You know, like we really do deserve it. There's certain things that people get in their lives they don't deserve. You know, somebody gets sick or whatever. You get a bad car accident. But, you know, this country deserves everything we get. Everything we get, we really deserve. I don't know how much of it anymore can be blamed on outside forces, you know, or even these billionaires that are, we know, evil and bad, a lot of them. But the common person here also is unfortunately really sadly culpable in a lot of this. You know, the people that are cheering on this war in Iran have no fucking clue why we're there. They don't care. They're happy to just see violence. You know, they're happy to see things blow up. They're at a bar in Florida. They're excited about the Ayatollah getting whacked. They don't know why. They don't know what Iran did to them. They're just happy to see violence and chaos. And those are the people who are culpable for what this country is going to get. Make no mistake, we're going to get it. What this country is getting, those are the people who deserve it. Those are the people who deserve it. When the gas spikes and we're no longer in the Middle East because we were thrown out of the Middle East because Iran attacked all of our bases, we didn't defend them, and a lot of these Gulf states don't want much to do with us. When all of that happens, and when Israel's the regional power there and becoming a global power, again, this is out of Netanyahu's mouth, when all of that happens, the people that cheered this on from their backyard in Long Island without a goddamn thought as to why we were doing it, it just felt good to them. It was a way to own the libs by sending troops into a Middle Eastern country. These people are all hopped up on pharmaceuticals and French vanilla coffee creamer, and they have a bloodlust that is insatiable. The suburban American has a bloodlust that is absolutely insatiable. Nothing is enough for these people. Nothing is enough. We're becoming a sexless country. We're a joyless country. Our only joy is in exporting violence and sitting back and watching it. It is the only thing that unites people and gets them excited. They all have a bloodlust, and they want things to blow up, and they want people to get hurt, and they don't care that we bombed a school of Iranian children. They don't care that a Tomahawk missile ripped through a school and killed 165 people, many of them between the ages of 8 and 10 years old. They don't care because many parts of this country are a moral black hole. They are a moral black hole where there is no morality. They're amoral. You say, well, maybe they have bad morals. No. They have no morals. They're a black hole.
They are a black hole. Welcome to the J.G. Carrell Show. Tim Dillon is absolutely 100% correct. This is a black hole of morality. The title of my show says it all. We are no longer the shiny city on the hill. And I know, Patriot says, watch this show. I understand how much you love this country because you love it as much as I do. But if you're going to be honest, and being Patriot is being honest, to be able to look at each other and say everything's fine, we don't have any problems, we're still the great moral authority of the world, you're lying to yourself. And then you're hurting the country when you say that too, because we all know there's something wrong. We all can feel it. And it's just not the patriotic conservatives. It's the anti-American left. They feel it too. It's the person that's in the middle that just is like, hey, I'm just an independent. Leave me alone. They sense it. We all sense it. Are we moving in the right direction? Or is anything that is happening in America socially, culturally, economically, spiritually, is anything moving in the right direction? Are we a more God-fearing country or a godless country? What in God's name has happened to the United States of America? It didn't happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Nothing does. Everything takes time. Everything goes through a process. We got here in this cesspool because we the Christians of our country allowed it to happen. We the Christians remained silent when they brought in 50 million illegal aliens into our country. Hindus, Jews, Muslims, Buddhists, whatever the hell you want, whatever religion, as long as it wasn't a religion that deifies and says out loud that Jesus Christ is our Savior, we want everyone except them. In fact, no white people, no Western Christians, nothing. We want everything to be atheists, Jews, Muslims, whatever. And what did we all do? We either were so gutless we said nothing. We were so ignorant and propagandized that we're like, yes, diversity is a strength. And we watched as our nation flipped on its head the demographics. We watched as our nation's religious beliefs flipped on its head. We brought in people that do not believe and worship the same God. How are we supposed to get along? How are we supposed to get along? One religion, the Jews, hate our Savior, and we give them billions. We bring in 9/11 happens, and that's a whole nother story. But let's just go with the narrative. Muslims kill us. We're at war with Muslims for 30 years. And what's our response to we have to fight them over there? Well, fuck it. Let's bring them all into America. That's genius. Do you think that was just stupidity? Or do you think that's planned? At least those savages, Muslims, at least they acknowledged Jesus Christ existed and was more than just some dude that's living now in hell. They believe he was a righteous prophet. Still, why are we bringing in all of these people that hate our way of life? At the same time, we brought in all these people, the anti-Americans, the Marxists, the communists, the sexually perverse, took over our nation. Again, we sat here to create the Department of Education, and we allowed the most vile, the most sexually perverse, the most anti-American, anti-God people to take it over. And they've indoctrinated generations of Americans. We no longer can put the 10 Commandments in our courthouses. We're founded on the 10 Commandments, you fucking morons. Our documents were created because of the 10 Commandments, because of divine providence. That is AKA God. Everything's secular. Strip away Easter. It's about a stupid ass Easter bunny. The birth of Jesus Christ, he coincides with some fat old man named Santa Claus that was created. Many people can dial it all the way back to Coca-Cola, the soft drink. We are a nation that has lost $40 trillion. Not 40 million, not even 40 billion, 40 trillion. And then we have something called the Doge, comes and finds it, and then everybody ignores that it happened. We have inside of our houses of worship the LGBTQ flag We have pastors that are lesbians, gays, transsexuals, preaching God's word. I'm going to spend the next hour showing you. I don't care if I convince you, but I'm going to lay it out. And I'm going to show you just about a small fraction of a percent of everything that's wrong with America. And after you just see my short presentation, and it is short and it is not all inclusive, because it would take me a decade to discuss how we got to where we are today. I think I would be this upset, or close to this, being this upset, if it was just me. If it was just me, like I didn't have any children, and it was just like, you know what, man, I'm getting older. I'm gonna phase out of this life and screw it. Let these morons eat this world. But it's not just me. And it's just not me and my wife. It's my son. My son's going to high school next year. In a decade, my son could be married and maybe have 1 or 2 children. What did I leave him? I left him a nation where he's the minority in his own country. I left him a nation that demonizes him because he's white. I left him a nation that demonizes him because he's a Christian, that he believes in fairy tales. I left him a nation that is crippled by debt, and that will ultimately succumb to that debt and implode. I left him a nation where we're fighting wars for Jews. I left him a nation where the American dream is not obtainable because it does not exist anymore. Do you think God is just and this podcast is for Christians. Everyone else just get out. You left this, you're gonna mock me anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't care about you. But the Christians out there, do you think the God from the Old Testament that absolutely destroyed civilizations, created a flood that annihilated the world? Do you think that being is looking down and he is happy? Do you think that he's happy? Do you think he's happy about America being the number one consumer of child pornography in the world? Look, I don't care about Israel and the Jews. God's going to have to deal with them. They're going to have to deal with God. I'm not worried about the Muslims in the Middle East. Let them deal with God on their own. I'm worried about America. America that was founded. Our founding fathers said openly, wrote articles after articles after articles, that our nation was founded on the principles of God and divine power. Why do you think that we rose to the heights of power, wealth, influence in the world? Do you think that was happenstance? Or do you think that's because we bowed down to our divine creator and asked for his blessings in his name, and we were blessed? But you don't think it, do you think it just stays that way? That ultimately God just goes, okay, just be what you want. I pray God's merciful, like all merciful. There are things that I have in my life that I pray that he is all merciful, because I'm going to need his mercy to get into heaven. That being said, I don't know what I believe in anymore. Do I believe that Jesus Christ is his son and he's the Savior in the Trinity? Yeah. I've never in my I have been through some tough times in my life where I've lost great loss. And I've never doubted there's a God. Now, I may doubt that he knows me and he wants me to succeed and he loves me. Yeah, I've had those times. Oh, yeah. Where I'm like, where are you, man? I don't see you. I don't feel you. I don't sense you in any way. You have left me. He never left me. I was just so stupid I couldn't see it. But I never doubted his existence. So when you look at America, I'm talking about us as Christians. We have to take our country back. I don't believe in this is just verbiage and this is just rhetoric. Or, no. We're past the precipice of death and destruction in our nation. It is time now. It is time to take our country back. Why have we allowed the people that hate us the most, that want to change America? Why did we allow them to change it? Why did we allow them to continue to do what we knew was wrong? Why did we allow those people to bring in the people to replace us? And then those people and the people that replaced us, they demonize us. They tell us to shut up and they tell us no, that we're bigots, that we're xenophobes, we're racist. Wait a minute. You came to my country. Now you're trying to change it. Why? Because you hate white people. Who's the racist? And ultimately, I don't care who's the racist. I want you all to get the fuck out of my country. I don't know how more clear I need to be. Do I believe Donald Trump's the man? Nope, I don't. I think he's the precursor to the man. I think he's the precursor to someone that's going to absolutely ravage this country, because there are tens of millions of men and women like me that want change, and we want it now. We don't want change to go be more sexually reversed. We want change to go backwards. We want to go back to what we were. Do you think that everything happened in this country right now is always been this way? You think our inner cities have always been cesspools? Detroit used to be the shiny hill. Detroit had so many empty buildings. They said it would take about 100 years to clear them all. LA. You would go to LA. My wife and son had to drive by St. Louis, and I said, whatever you do, and I'm telling you, whatever you do, gas up an hour outside of St. Louis, and do not stop at all. You have to drive by Kansas City. Do not go through that city at all. You think black on black crime, black on white crime, black rapes of white women that are in the tens of thousands? Do you think that that's always been that way? Do you think that illiterate blacks have always been at this number? No. Have we had this many lazy white people on drugs, on psychotics? No. We've had this much divorce, this much infidelity, this much pornography, this much child sex trafficking? No. No, we haven't. This is not America. But it is America. It is what we become. My first video I'm going to show you, and I don't care if it's going to be hard for you to hear, it doesn't matter. It's just the truth, because truth is just what it is. It's just truth. It's a buddy of mine that I did documentaries with, respect greatly, Ryan Matta. Listen to this interview.
Yeah. We have a child porn problem here in America, you say?
Yeah, our government runs 50% of the child porn websites are ran by our FBI.
What? Wait, explain that.
Yeah, 50% of the websites that are child porn websites are dummy websites where our FBI is supposedly waiting and trying to trap people that are on these websites and backtrace their IP addresses and figure out who they are, which would make sense if child pornography or child rape was a priority of the FBI. You know, out of the top 10 priorities that the FBI has, child rape isn't even in the top 10.
Wow.
Not even in the top 10. And domestic terrorism, hunting down January 6ers, they were taking FBI agents that were working child porn and sending them to hunt MAGA grannies.
Right.
The FBI needed a $430 million field office. And the running joke inside the FBI, Steve just told me this yesterday, is there's 14,000 FBI agents, all of them in every division, in every branch. And the running joke is that they could assign every single agent in the FBI to doing nothing but hunting down child predators. And Steve Friend said you could arrest one every single day. Said it's the most rewarding job in the FBI.
Yeah.
You're hunting down the most evil and sick people, and there's always another one the next day. And every day, if you wanted to, it's so easy. There's people are so dumb and stupid, you could arrest every one of them. And let me be clear on this so your audience understands. A child rapist, a pedophile will repeat offend 100% of the time. So once he's crossed that line and sexually assaulted a woman or a child, there is a 100% chance that he will repeat offend 100% of the time. And these are the first ones. You talk about a serial killer, or arsonist, and a child rapist. Who's the first to get released? The child rapist. Who's the only one who can't be rehabilitated? The child rapist.
Ryan Matta, always right to the point. Right to the point. Every single time. Right to the point. Trying to find this video I want to show you. There it is. Just to drive this point home. I want you to put it up there. I want you to see this. See those red dots? It's child pornography. That's just a moment in time. Let's listen to Tim Tebow talk about this in front of Congress.
Every one of those red dot maps is a unique IP address that is downloaded, shared, or distributing child rape images, almost all under the age of 12. And that's just a 6-month screenshot of it. And there are over 338,000 on there. There's blue dots on there. You can't really see them, but the blue ones are the ones that are under investigation.
In a sea of red.
Isn't that a problem of what we're talking about? Every one of those red dots.
Okay. I want you to listen to what he just said. It's kind of like Find Waldo. The blue dots. The blue dots are the active cases, which are minuscule. Why? Because there's not enough of us. It's not enough of us, law enforcement. We are not the shiny city on the hill. We are a nation consumed in sexual perversion and evil and death and destruction. And if it's hard for you to hear that, then go find another podcast to listen to. If you want truth, if you want to just hear the facts as they are, then you're in the right place. There are times that I when I'm producing my shows, and I do take a break and I go, okay, is this number one, what is it I'm trying to convey? Number two, am I conveying the truth? Am I in an echo chamber? Am I inside my own head? Has this been factually proven to be true? Or is this more my feelings and beliefs? And I sift through that every day I'm doing my show. And there's times where I get done my show and I'm driving home, or I'm going to do a speaking engagement. I'm sitting there driving in my silence. And I say to myself, you got to keep speaking the truth. No matter how damaging it is, no matter what people say to you or how people perceive you. Because what's the alternative? The alternative is I act as if child sex trafficking is not going on. I act as if we're not the number one consumer of child pornography. There's hundreds of millions of pictures and videos of young children in sexual positions and being raped. Do you know how many people it takes to consume even a fraction of that amount of pornography? That means there are millions of pedophiles inside of our boundaries. How many of them are elite? Evidently, a large, significant percentage of them, thus the Epstein files, thus the P. Diddy's. I'll show you another Tim Tebow.
Those red dots, this is New York State. That every red dot is a unique IP address that is downloading and sharing child images and videos. And that's just the last 30 days in the state of New York.
Jesus.
Whoa. And
is the FBI arresting these people?
well, do you see the blue dots? Those are the ones that are being investigated.
So just investigation?
The blue dots are the ones that are being
But if
investigated.
you have a confirmed IP address that's sharing this type of content,
So it's a good conversation, and a lot of people will say, well, how are they not doing more? Our law enforcement, can areas get better? Of course, but our law enforcement is so undermanned. It does not have, many places does not have the best tech. They are undermanned. There is a few people that are, their job is this. It is not a lot. Like we have, we want to talk about all these things and they can't, and defund them. Listen, when you defund them, you're not actually caring for these boys and girls.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to escalate how many hires we have, especially in victim identification, to keep these boys and girls safe. It's one of our bills in Congress. Is the Renewed Hope Act, is so that we would hire more victim identification specialists to be able to identify these boys and girls so that we can knock on that door and go safeguard that
why
child.
do you think that this is not unanimously supported or even spoken about? Like it seems
We've
like
been speaking a lot about.
No, it's not spoken about. Well, why isn't it not spoken about? Well, because we have to pass bills to hide sexual harassment of our congressmen and senators. We have to pass bills to fund Ukraine. We have to pass bills in order to go fund Israel. We have to spend almost $900 million to $1 billion a day to go fight the Phantom in Iran. But these bastards in our House and Senate cannot fund adequately an organization, an agency that just dismantles and rescues children. We have an agency, $1 billion plus agency that oversees tobacco, firearms. We have an agency that handles narcotics and oversees it. We have an agency that is the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have DHS that does illegal immigration, narcotics too, customs. We have an IRS, multi-billion dollars to take our taxes. We have the Department of Education. We have Department of Commerce. We have a Department of Defense. We have the Department of everything. But you know what we don't have? Of everything in the federal government, do you know what we don't have? We have nothing to watch and oversee children. Nothing. Nothing. Do you think that's just, well, it just fell through the crack, JJ? Or do you think it's intentional? I think it's intentional. I think we are so sick. We are so sick as a nation that we don't have any idea what we're doing. We have no idea how bad we are. We have no idea the misery that we're causing, and we have no idea what God's judgment on us is going to be like. This is Tim Ballard of the Sound of Freedom fame. Listen to what he says.
And why do I call America the belly of the beast? Because we are the #1 consumers of child sexual exploitation material in the world, thus making us probably the highest demand for child sex in the world. So this is not a country you want to be lost in.
Human trafficking is worse now than it's ever been in the history of our world. It's a U.S. problem, but it's a world problem.
One little girl I can tell you about, in fact, I introduced this little girl to Miss Trump during a private briefing. This little girl was kidnapped in Central America, 11 years old, groomed for 2 years, with the intent of getting her ready to come to America. Why? Because we are the highest consuming nation of child pornography. We are the clientele that's the big money. I remember talking to that young girl who I testified about her story in Congress. She was actually in the room with me and helped me prepare the testimony. She wanted her story told. And she said, look, once I made it to New York City, I was a nobody. I didn't have a name. I didn't have Social Security. No one knew I even existed because there was no wall. There was no process. And so I think she estimated that she was raped around 30,000 plus times over the course of her life between 13 and 16 when she rescued herself. But this is happening to hundreds of thousands of children, likely.
And you have many thousands of people like this.
Thousands. This is happening all the time.
It's happening all the time. And yet we do nothing about it. We don't even talk about it. We don't even talk about it. We are the world's largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history. Here's someone else that's going to tell you exactly what I'm saying. And I would consider this man a friend. Clayton Morris of Redacted. I get fired up. I get pissed off.
The United States is the largest purveyor of child sex trafficking in the world. The world. And we bring more children into the United States and are used for sex slavery than any country in the world. When Trump was asked, where are these children, these 300, 400,000 children, and Trump said, I think they're dead. Trump was honest about it. They are. They're used and abused and thrown away. And so when you have people like Brigitte Macron who are like groomers of children, it makes sense that they would be protected.
It does.
And these elite circles. It's incredibly disgusting.
Boy, I never thought I would get to a place where I would like nod as somebody said our elites are trafficking children for pedophilia. But actually, once you see what's going on, it makes sense because what is pedophilia? It's a spiritual. It's not. I do think that it's more than just a diseased sexual impulse, though. It's clearly that.
Yeah.
But it's the desire to defile purity.
Yes, it is. And we've allowed our nation to become the epicenter. Think of what Tim Ballard said. Think about what Tucker Carlson and Clayton Morris just said. Think about meeting with Donald Trump and telling him that. Think about the fact that it is acknowledged and talked about it in the halls of Congress, in congressional testimony, my testimony, Robert Kennedy Jr. testimony, Tulsi Gabbard testimony, on and on and on and on and on. And no one does a damn thing. Why? Why? Well, why would you shut down the conveyor belt of children if you are the consumer of the children? Why are no Epstein files released? Why has no one been arrested? Why? Because they're all involved. We're asking the people that are committing the crime to stop the crimes. We're asking the people that commit the heinous rapes, murders, and eating and cooking of children to arrest themselves. I testified in front of Congress. I'm not going to play that. I testified about the largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history is the United States federal government. And people mocked me and said, you're writing that in your book? Are you sure you want to write that down? And within 3 months of Donald Trump being in president, and I said, HHS, Health and Human Services, is the largest child sex trafficking organization. They facilitated it. 3 months later, the new director of HHS Robert Kennedy, said the same damn thing under oath. He said the largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history is the United States of America. And this clip I'm going to show you that he names HHS as the largest purveyor of child sex trafficking. Our government.
We have ended HHS as the role as the vector, the principal vector in this country for child trafficking. And during the Biden administration, HHS became a collaborator in child trafficking and for sex and for slavery. And we have ended that, and we're very aggressively going out and trying to find these children, 300,000 children that were lost by the Biden administration.
It's not 300,000. I would like to get these numbers straight because numbers are important. It's 550,000 children. Joe Biden took office and the day he left to the day he left. 550,000 children minimum. Minimum. How many children have we recovered, found, located, identified? 130,000. 130,000 out of 550,000, and I could double that number because the border was completely wide open. I played this video a while ago, and I'm going to play it again. Played this, was this maybe 2 months ago? But I'm going to play it again because it's that powerful. It's a video of the number of missing children in the world by country. By country.
Yo, you have to watch this.
Countries with the most missing children. Italy, 21,951 missing children each year. South Korea, 25,690 to missing children each year. Russia, 45,000 missing children each year. Canada, 45,288 missing children each year. India, 96,000 missing children each year. Germany, 100,000 missing children each year. United Kingdom, 112,835 missing children each year. United States, 460,000 missing children each year, with 2,300 children going missing every day.
Doing quick math. In that commercial, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 6 nations. It's 800,000 children. Where the hell did they go? 460,000 plus in the United States of America. I've heard that number go as high as 800,000. So let's stop. Before I continue, because this is important, before I continue, I'm going to ask you a very important question. If you live in the inner cities or you live in the sticks in Missouri, you live in the hills of Lake Tahoe or the hills in South Dakota, where you're the only person that you can see for miles, I have a question for each one of you. Have you seen roaming groups of lost children? Have you? And the answer is no, you haven't. If there was 460,000 lost kids, you would see tens of thousands roaming around the major cities, hungry, starving. You don't. So where the hell are all the children? Where are they? You don't want to answer that question, I know. I know you don't. Because when you answer it, you're not going to go to sleep tonight. I always feel bad segueing into my sponsor of my show because I'm coming in hot every single day. There's so much to talk about. There's so much to try to articulate is happening. Some days, I will tell you, some days are overwhelming for me in the aspect of what am I going to talk about? It's not what I'm running out of things to talk about. I have so much to talk about. There's so many issues. And the great Ann Vanderstill told me once, she says, you know what? We were talking about this dilemma that we have. She says, just focus in on one issue per day and just focus in on it. And that's what I do. Because when I look at the totality of it, it is so overwhelming. That's why I give, as much as I am getting disappointed in Donald Trump, as I think there's some very bad decisions he's making, at the very same time, I give him great amounts of grace. Because I'm trying to just discuss this with you. He's trying to correct it. I'm looking out my window today and it's snowing in Kansas City in March. You need to be prepared. You need to be prepared for the worst. If you think this is as bad as it's going to get, you're a fool. I look at my sponsor, sat123.com, sat123.com/JJ, as the website, the marketplace to get myself prepared for the worst. And it gets me prepared for the average every day. It's freezing. I already ordered my jacket. The new jacket from Sat123 that has Faraday pouches built in the pockets. I put my wallet with all my ID chips in it. I put my phone, and no one can hack it. My son, my wife just left for a quick trip. They have their ballistic backpacks. They have their sat phone, so they can call me. We are prepared. I want you to be prepared. I want you to go to sat123.com/JJ and just look. Look and ask yourself a very simple question. Does my family need this? Period. Period. sat123.com/JJ. We talk about this, that everything is connected. Nothing, and I mean nothing is on its own. We are living in the most perverse, in every sense of the word. It is this disease, this illness, this cancer of sexual perversion is being jammed down our throats. The guy on the left is a Muslim that just came to America from Uganda and is now the mayor of New York City. This very attractive woman is actually a dude. She's transsexual, transgender, or as I like to say, she is a freak. Nothing gives it away right now because she has been created to look like a woman. Except look at her hands when she moves her hands. Her hands are bigger than mine. They're definitely bigger than that Muslim that is extremely effeminate. But this is what I'm talking about. Do you think, maybe let me just pause here because I have to say this. Do you think the sexual perversion of a man dressing like a woman, cutting off their genitalia, putting in fake breast, cutting their Adam's apple, changing everything about them. Do you think that's a big stretch between that and raping little kids? Are you going to try to sell me that crap? You're going to try to tell me the LGBTQ is already trying to get the maps, the minor attracted people, inside of their diverse, vile flag? That's not a bridge to China. A bridge to China is a straight man. You're trying to tell a straight man that he needs to kiss a gay man, more or less have sex with a man. That ain't gonna happen. LGBTQ, XYZ insanity, and raping children, child molesting, pedophilia, that is not a bridge to China. That is a hopscotch over a crack in a sidewalk.
We all know too well the queer community, as well as intersecting communities and adjacent communities, are under extreme attack in this country from all angles, it seems, from the highest levels of government to society in general, and to even sometimes people that we consider friendly fire, unfortunately. And so now more than ever in this moment, it is so critical, I think, to have trans leadership, because we all know too well.
Oh, we need trans leadership. I need you to lead me. Where are you going to lead me? Oh, you're going to lead me to hell, right? So I have to go to hell? That's where I'm going? I'm going to show you this because it is. I'm going to show you a picture of hell. I'm going to show you a picture of insanity. And I'm going to show you a picture of evil. What's the probability those kids are going to be normal? What's the probability they're going to rape those boys? Or if that's a girl? What's the probability? What's historically the probability? High. Do you think this is normal on any level? Again, I'm talking to you Christians. Or is this an abomination? Come on, answer me. Is this normal, or is this an abomination in God's eyes? It's sexually, societally, culturally evil. And yet we celebrate it. We celebrate evil. We celebrate it. Just so we're very clear. Just so we're very, very clear. We're talking about transsexuals. And we're talking about what you're doing to our little boys. Here's a video using Play-Doh to show you what happens to the untold number of our children through this sexual perversion, this evil, this absolute satanic actions that are happening in our country. Watch this. You think that's go ask the men that have had this done, or the young boys. You know what they tell you? I just have a gaping hole between my legs now. I have a gaping hole between my legs. It's always infected because I have an open wound. Can you believe that we're trying, or we're not trying? Hell, we're doing it, convincing or facilitating through cheerleading and through our tax dollars, men or young boys that are destroying their bodies, destroying them. These are millions of kids. Millions of kids have had taken hormone replacement, puberty blockers, or have gone the insane mile of cutting off their penis and their testicles. Women are ripping their breast off their chest, and they're creating some Frankenstein penis out of other parts of their body. Do you know what's going to happen in less than a decade? You are going to have mass suicide in America. Mass. I'm not talking about, there's 5 people killing themselves a day. I'm talking thousands a day. Mass suicides. Why? Because these people are going to wake up from their insanity, and they're going to look at their bodies and they're going to go, dear God, what in the fuck have I done to myself? And then they're going to look and say, Mom, Dad, pastor, priest, politician, doctor, nurse, why didn't anybody stop me? Why did you cut my penis off? Why did you sew my vagina up, and now you created out of, it looks like Play-Doh, this monstrosity called a penis? I can't have sex. I can't enjoy it. I have the unbelievable urge for sex still, and I have no release. You don't think that's going to cause mass suicide in America? Millions of boys and girls that are now men and women that can't have sex. They have the sex desire coursing through their veins, and there's no release. And they're going to feel betrayed because of some cancer that was spreading across America in the brain, that we thought this was cool. This is evil. If you can't see God has been replaced and has been replaced by Satan, you're insane. You're an absolute jackass. Because we have allowed Satan to take over our country. Oh, you want proof? Oh, you need proof, right? Yeah. Okay. Here is the great state of Minnesota, and this is an award Tim Walz got. And it's an award that's in the state capitol. What would that award be? Well, it'd be an award from the Satanists.
In honor of our governor, Tim Walz. And it is from people that are supportive of his efforts. And there it is. Right here in the East Hall, lower level. And it reads, the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol building. Satan has a special place for you.
Yeah, he does. It's called hell. Oh, you need more. Okay, let me just keep giving you some more and more and more. Here's the Grammys. And they're just kind of like, here we are. We're Satan, and you're going to bow to us. Oh, you need some more. Okay. Well, let me, if you can't figure that out, like, oh dear God, that's the Grammys with millions of people watching. Oh no, that's just like a one-off. They would never do that. Well, I think this person is getting an Oscar or something that's meaningless. She's getting an award in Hollywood. Why don't we just listen to them? As I said many, many times before, stop talking and let's listen to what they tell us.
On behalf of Amy, I'd like to thank the devil and all the dark lords who
don't do the devil stuff.
Gave her this award.
Don't do the devil stuff.
Allowed her to feast on the flesh of the innocent.
Thanks, everybody.
Okay, let's hear that again. They try to like chuckle. This is not some drugged out chick. This is a girl, young woman that is possessed. And this is Hollywood. And that was the Grammys, the one before then. So all your children are listening to this and watching this. It is something I battle with every day. Watch it again.
On behalf of Amy, I'd like to thank the devil and all the dark lords who
don't do the devil stuff.
Gave her this award.
Don't do the devil stuff.
Allowed her to feast on the flesh of the innocent.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, everybody. You think God that allowed us to found our country on Christianity, you think he's going to not be very, very angry that we took his nation, his Christian nation, and turned it into a nation that honors Judaism, that honors Buddhism, that honors Islam, all affront to God? This is in San Francisco on City Hall, but this is happening across America right now. Absolute affront to the United States of America, to the creator of our nation, Jesus Christ. Do you really think this is going to end well in America? We have a God that blessed us beyond anything that we could ever imagine. And we are systematically not turning our back on him. We're screaming at him to get out. We're fighting with everything we have to get him out of our society. And as he begins to leave, our nation crumbles. Our nation falls further and further and further into the pits of hell. Because one thing God is very, very good at is he's honest. And when you sit there and you tell him to get out and get out and get out, guess what he does? He's a gentleman of all things. He'll honor your request.